Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Yep, it's KitKat Pound Cake time. Y'all, I was hesitant about putting these in my little Ninja because I'm trying not to get them too fine, because I want to taste the hunks and chunks of the Kit Kat. I think I'm going to save these for. I don't know why. Don't know what I want to do with them, but I don't think I want to crunch those up. At least not yet. Okay. Ooh, get that candy off of. Ooh. Okay, so this is what we're working with today. We're gonna do this KitKat Pound Cake, and I just opened up. Whoo, what was it? Was it? With 4 of these, I was thinking it was 6. Okay. So I just opened up my packs of Kit Kat. Like I said, I'm going to save these because I'm not quite sure what I want to do with them. And I'm going to need to hide them because when my dude number 1 comes home, aka my husband, I don't want him to see them and know what kind of cake we're doing. So we're going to put them here. I'm using 8 ounces of the Kit Kat coffee creamer. Let me put this away too, so that won't be out on the counter. And yes, he has seen that in the refrigerator, but I'm sure he's thinking it was for my coffee. So, you know, I don't like to tell him the kinds of cakes that I'm baking. I like for him to kind of guess and see what he's tasting. Okay, so we have our Kit Kat. We have 8 ounces of the Kit Kat coffee creamer. Y'all, I was so excited when I saw this in the store. So it's room temperature. I have 3 cups of Swan's Down cake flour. And I didn't sift today, you guys. It comes pre-sifted in the box already. But oftentimes I will sift it again. But I just didn't today for whatever reason. And in here I have 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Now, this is like the base of one of my mom's recipes. So that's why it's a little different. Now, if you want to use just the 1/4 teaspoon of salt, that's fine. But I did 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and then I took my little whisk and stirred it around, and they're really good, okay? All right, we have 3 cups of sugar. I have 2 sticks of unsalted room temperature butter. If I didn't mention, this coffee creamer is room temperature too. 2 sticks of room temperature unsalted butter and 1/2 cup of Crisco. And I like to use the little sticks because it's easier to measure. Let me also, I'd be liking to show y'all what it looks like, just in case you're not familiar with it in the store. It comes like this in the store, and it's just easier just to, you see what has the measurements on the bottom here, and it's just easier to just kind of cut it down the middle to get my half cup. We have that. I have 6 large eggs that are room temperature. And then I'm going to use some vanilla oil. It's not necessary. You can use a vanilla extract if you like. This is the Laura Ann oil. I'm going to use it, and let's see what else. And then I want to put a ganache on the top of it. And I'll use a little bit more of that KitKat creamer, because the outside of the KitKat is with this chocolate like that. So that's why I want to do the chocolate ganache on the outside. Now, I'm not going to do anything fancy. See, those of you that have home bakeries and y'all bake for people and decorate cakes, that ain't what I do, okay? So I'm not trying to do all the decorating outside. I thought about maybe putting a little bit of the KitKat on the top, but I don't know. That's not what the KitKat looks like. It's just the smooth chocolate. So we'll see. If I don't add those, they just might get eaten. You know, but in any event, I can add them if I want to. So here's all of my little KitKats that are chopped up. And like I said, I wanted some hunks. I want you to be able to tell you've got some, you know, you're crunching on something. So we're going to fold that in. I think that's it. My oven is preheated to 325 degrees. Let me sit this right here too, just in case he comes in before I finish getting it mixed up. Not that he's going to know what it is, but still. Oven is preheated to 325 degrees. Oh, let me put all these little KitKat wrappers. I'm going to save one so I can pull it out of the cabinet and show it to him when he's trying to get it. So we're going to put those in the trash can. Let's see. What was I saying? Oven preheated to 325 degrees. Of course, I thoroughly washed my hands. Don't be in the kitchen with nasty hands, because that's just nasty. All right? Okay, so we're going to start by, and I'm going to get this in the trash in just a second. We're going to start by adding our 2 sticks of butter. 2 sticks of butter. To my mixing bowl. Trying to get all my butter. 2 sticks of butter. Then we'll add our half stick of Crisco. And also my oil. I'm going to add at least half of this bottle. And what I'm going to do is I'll start mixing up the butter, the Crisco, and the oil just a few seconds by itself, okay? Once it mixes up just a few seconds and everything is mixed well, I'll start adding my 3 cups of sugar slowly. And then, once I get all of my sugar in there, we're going to cream the butter, sugar, Crisco, extract, or the oil for at least 10 minutes. Now, I'm going to stop a couple of times and scrape down the sides of my bowl within that 10 minutes, because what you'll notice is that my ingredients, they're going to start collecting on the sides of my bowl, which means if they're on the sides of the bowl, they're not down in the bowl getting properly creamed. So I'll stop at least a couple of times, scrape down the sides of my bowl. When I cream on like a medium high with this mixer. So it's set on about 8, 8.5. You don't want to rush this process, because have you ever seen a cake where it looks gummy and gooey on the inside? Oftentimes it's because it wasn't properly creamed, okay? So take your time, set a timer. I'm looking at my microwave because I'll set a timer once all the sugar is added. And then I'll go do something else while it's creaming, okay? You want it to look light and fluffy. You don't want to hear any of those sugar crystals mixing around in the bottom of your bowl. So once we get done creaming, I'm going to stop the mixer and I'll come back and show you exactly what light and fluffy should look like. We have arrived at light and fluffy. Okay, so this is what we should be looking like when we say light and fluffy. You see that? Okay, so now that we've creamed our butter, sugar, Crisco, it's time to start adding our eggs. So we'll turn the mixer back up, add our eggs one at a time. And once I add my egg, when I add an egg, I don't wait for the yolk to totally disappear. When I add that egg and that yolk breaks up, I mix it for just a couple of seconds and then I go on and add the next egg. Once we get through adding all of our eggs, do I hear dude number one? I think I hear dude number one coming in. So there's nothing out that tells him this is KitKat, okay? Nothing out, okay. So once I get through adding all of my eggs, then it's time to start adding the flour, and we're going to alternate the flour from the creamer, okay? You always want to start with dry, and you want to end with dry. Hey, babe. God, what is this in cookie? Did you have a good day?
Some smell good. How we been? Oh boy, they went in for them.
Okay, just say hey, everybody. You always want to start with the dry, and then you want to end with the dry. What you looking for?
What you making?
Don't worry about it.
Some smell good.
You know you're going to have to guess.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll start with our flour. We'll add a little bit, and then I will alternate and add a little bit of the creamer, okay? Now, that's the part that a lot of people overmix. You're not trying to get the batter silky smooth. You just want to get everything moistened and kind of mixed in. This doesn't take as long as, nearly as long as the creaming of the butter, sugar, and Crisco. That took like 10 minutes. This will only take about maybe less than 2. Definitely less than 2, because I'm going to fold in my KitKat. Okay? He's in the room anyway by now, so he can't hear me. He closed the door. So, okay, so we're going to turn the mixer back on. We're going to add the eggs, and then we'll start alternating our flour and then the creamer, and then we're going to fold in our KitKat, and then we're going to be ready to get this cake in the oven and get it baked. I think I did fail to mention once I start adding my flour after the eggs that I'm going to turn the mixer way down to 2. Did I say that? If I didn't, we're going to turn the mixer way down and mix in the rest of the ingredients. This mixer, I usually have it set on 2. You do not want to mix this on high because it can also cause you to overmix and cause your cake to fall. All right? Okay. Okay, so I still need to mix a little bit more. But we want to fold in these KitKat pieces, okay? Y'all know what I meant to do. You know what I'm getting ready to say. I meant to put a little bit in the bottom. I've already greased this. I did the old school method with the Crisco and then the flour. But when I'm adding candy in pieces like that, I like to add a little bit of batter with nothing in it to the bottom first in an effort to kind of keep the candy from sticking. Oh, and I forgot. Let's see if we can get a little bit of it out. What am I looking at? Okay. Since I had just did that first little scoop, let's see if we can get a little bit of it out. Sometimes I remember to do this, and as you see, sometimes I don't. But I try not to have candy directly on the bottom. So we'll see, and then hopefully most of this won't sink too, you know. Sometimes it's just hard. Even when I'm adding candy and I coat the candy in, or whatever I'm adding in flour, it's like sometimes it makes a difference and sometimes it doesn't. At least that's been my experience. Okay. So this is what we did, okay? So now, back to folding. You just want to kind of go under and over, okay? Don't want to overdo it. Go under, kind of scoop it up, and just fold it over. Before I add this last little bit of batter, I think this is what I have left. I'm just going to go on and sprinkle them in. Trying not to get it up against the tube, okay? Okay, we're going to take this last little bit, plop it on in here. Y'all know I always talk about how heavy this bowl is. Oh my goodness, my arm is burning right now. As for this mixer, the information is listed in the description box below if you're interested in this mixer. But I always tell people that the bowl is really heavy. It's one thing I do not like. It's extremely heavy. Okay. So now I'm just trying to get my batter pretty level and even as I can. I don't want to do a whole lot of hitting to get the air bubbles out, because sometimes I feel like that encourages whatever I've added in the cake, the Kit Kats, to sink. Yeah, that's just how I feel. I could be wrong. So I'm going to take my cake tester. You see this, my cake tester, and just kind of go through the batter in hopes to get rid of any air bubbles. Okay, so we are ready. Being careful not to scrape the bottom. We're going in 325 degrees. I bake my cakes in the middle of my oven. So what I do is adjust one of my racks. Just one of my racks to where it's in the middle, and that's where I bake my cakes. We're going to set the timer for an hour and 15 minutes. Of course, baking times will vary depending on your oven, but I will let you know exactly how long I baked once I take it out. We baked an hour and 15 minutes. So now we're going to sit here and cool for at least 10 before we flip it. And then after we get it flipped, then I'll make the ganache, because don't need to make it yet. I don't need to make it yet because I need the cake cooled before I add it, because otherwise it's just going to melt off. So we're going to let the cake cool. We will flip it. Once we flip it, we'll let it cool even longer, and then we'll make the ganache. All right. Let's see what we're looking like. That's what the inside of the pan looks like. is what we're looking like. I see some KitKat stuff. See that? Okay, so we're gonna sit here and continue to cool because it's still too hot to do anything, and we'll make that ganache when we come back. We are ready to make the ganache, and I'm gonna take some of my creamer first and just get it warm a little bit. Put it in the microwave. Sometimes I do it on the oven because you don't want it to boil. You just want it warm enough to melt these little chocolate wafers. So I'll just pour them in there, let them sit a little bit, and then stir them up until I get it to my desired consistency. And they melt so easy. I get these from, well, I would get these from my store that was, y'all know, my kitchen cake magic here in Winston-Salem. But you know, Miss Lou sold the business, and I have yet to go to the new store. I think I may have gotten a couple of questions about the new store. I've not gone yet, so I definitely need to do that at some point and just kind of check out the new owner. So I'm just going to heat this up, like I said, get the wafers in there, let them sit a little bit, and then I'll stir, get it smooth. Okay, let's smoke it a little bit. Is it warm? Wait a minute, let me make sure I don't have too much. Because if I have too much, then I might end up having to use more of my chocolate melts. And even if I don't cover the cake entirely, put it back in. If I don't cover the cake entirely, at least get most of it covered and definitely drizzled around the edge. Now Miss Lou told me when I melt these little pieces of chocolate melts in the microwave, she said do it in 10-second increments. So that's what we're doing. And see how it's melting. It's melting, it's melting. And that's all I'm going to do. And just continue to stir until I get it to my desired consistency. If I need to add more chocolate wafers or melts, I will. And then we're going to get it on the cake. And then let it cool some more. We'll be ready to slice. See, it's already coming together. So I won't bore you with just stirring, okay? Okay, so that's all we're gonna do for this delicious ganache. Ooh, doesn't that look so good? Okay, last time. All right. Oh, and I almost forgot. I like to add a little caramel syrup to it just to give it a little gloss. Okay, here we go. All right. Just to give it a little glossiness. Maybe about a tablespoon. That's it. Honey, it is time. Let's see, honey. Get some of this chocolate away around the edge.
It's tiny.
What you doing?
Look like
I
this.
just was messing.
Oh, you was making it look like
put
it
some
cut.
little lines up.
Oh, I'm gonna say, let me tell you something.
Let me
Them
get
some
some
little
of this.
small pieces of cake.
No,
Yes.
get some of this chocolate away from around the edge of it.
Boy, it's got a what you call crust. I love
What's
these.
a what you calling crust?
Like a cookie crust.
I had so much chocolate, y'all, it started dripping down the sides.
It's like a big chocolate chip. What is it?
Not tasting chocolate chips.
Well, it tastes like a chocolate chip. A
You-
warm chocolate chip.
Oh, it's still warm. Is that the issue? You are
Wait a minute.
basing.
I'm tasting peanut butter. Wait a minute. Almost like a Reese's cup cake. I'm tasting peanut butter.
No.
Tastes like to me.
You are-
Another butter?
No, ain't no nut butter. Ooh, I got chocolate on my hands. I'm gonna let you keep guessing.
Let me tell you something. The boys gonna be happy tomorrow, boy. We gonna bring some cake to the people.
This ain't going to them.
What you mean?
I ain't thinking about your boys.
Boy, the boys gonna be upset tomorrow. They ain't getting no cake.
I was just kidding. I just wanted to see what you was gonna say. Yeah, I guess it is still a little warm because. Okay, let me clean up the. Ooh, I need chocolate had them rain up under there.
What is it?
Let me taste it. I'm gonna have to cut another piece so they can see the. Oh, I see why you see it. See the inside.
I like the crust because the crust is like it's like a cookie. That's why I say chocolate because there's a chocolate taste to it. What kind is it though? Is it? It's
You have to
I
keep-
taste some peanut butter.
You tasting some type of candy.
Really?
This off the knife. Some kind of candy. And I put a lot of it in there too.
Is that peanut butter brittle? I'm gonna say
Peanut butter brittle.
no. You know the candy that it tastes like. What's the candy? And it comes in a clear piece of. It's a little square piece of candy about this long, and it
Oh,
comes
I know what you're talking about.
and it has like
like a little stripe. No.
striped things.
Striped things.
The striped paper.
Look
And when you
at
open it, it's all right, but it's chewy.
see
And it's
that.
peanut butter. You can taste it. This is good.
Okay, you gonna smile, babe? Okay, don't dump it out though. You gonna smile?
What can have peanut butter to it?
Is it peanut butter?
God, it's good.
And the inside is a little.
Good.
I want to cut it so I can see it better.
The chocolate make it look like. Y'all gotta figure out what it is. I don't know.
Honey, you're supposed to be figuring it out. I want to cut another piece so I can see the inside better, but I don't want to I don't want to eat it.
It ain't Chico stick. Although it tastes like a Chico stick.
Maybe if I can cut a little thin piece.
What is it? I don't know, what is it? Whisper to me. What is it? I want to know it. I don't want to look bad. It's good. I don't know what it is, but it's good. Could y'all help me? What is it? It has a peanut butter taste in it. I can taste peanut butter. I can taste peanut butter. I can taste chocolate. And I can taste good. Peanut butter, chocolate, and good. I don't know the name of the good
I see why you said chocolate chip, because that looks like a chocolate chip.
So I'm gonna give you some of the characteristics of the cake. You have some peanut butter. You have you have chocolate. You have good. It's chewy like a cookie. The crust is
The
like a cookie.
outside of it is too.
Yeah, so I'm not misleading y'all. I'm trying to tell you. So you have the chewy like a cookie. The smell, you can smell a hint of peanut butter in there.
Yeah, eat that.
I'm not gonna eat this.
Outside of it has a little.
Babe,
So you guys, put it in the water, baby.
I don't know what it is. It's good. KitKat. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that.
KitKat Bars.
No, seriously,
Give me a break.
that's what I'm tasting.
Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that.
See, that peanut butter is in this.
Does KitKat have peanut butter in it? It seemed like I tasted peanut butter, but I've never really tasted that eating the
So I wasn't
KitKat.
bothers. Yeah, this is it. A KitKat.
That's what it tastes like, babe.
That's it. That surely is it.
That's what this is for.
Oh, the milk.
Did you pay this any attention?
No. You get some in the kind of ham.
I said I figured you were gonna, if you saw this, you would just think it was for my coffee. So I figured you wouldn't pay
You think
any
some
attention.
this is,
But you know what, guys?
it tastes like a KitKat. That's
Does
weird.
it? If it tastes that much like a KitKat, you would say KitKat.
But then I'm trying to figure out because I'm saying it's peanut butter in the KitKat. A wafer. If KitKat, yeah, wafer.
But you know, you all, after making so many cakes, I realized that I like cakes baked with cream cheese. I just feel like they do better than cakes baked with milk or creamer.
That's good.
Is it good?
That's really good. There's one cake I really want to try.
What's that?
That whoop me cake.
What is a whoop me cake?
That cake that whooped your tail.
I figured you was gonna say that. That Ritz Carlton. You guys, I'm gonna tell you. Lord, when I saw the comment, who was that? Oh my goodness. He done said, Miss Donna, you ain't no punk.
Don't let that cake punk you.
Oh my goodness.
But no, that is very, very.
That is so
Look,
funny.
I'm gonna tell you something.
You are crazy. Babe, why you have to say that? Because at some point I am gonna do that cake again. I just kind of need a break.
But I'm gonna tell you something. We ain't gonna take no L's.
That's right.
Take no L's. But let me tell you something. She hit a home run with them pork chops. Man, let me tell y'all two things. Let me tell you something. My co-workers, y'all gotta see them guys. They are some of the happiest fellows you'll ever want to see on the job.
They're happy and they greedy.
Let me tell you, they happily greedy. But let me tell you one thing, they happy, and I be sitting there where we're sitting there, you would think we're cutting pork chops and man, we high-fiving one another and looking at the other co-workers like, well, that's y'all problem, it ain't ours. But let me say, guys, it has been a pleasure. She's back at it, it, people. She's back on the top of this thing with these
patio
things.
anymore, so
we done with the patio. That's done. So she is on this thing, guys, to where she is ready to get back at this. And my co-workers are at it.
You acting like I quit. They just greedy.
Quit, baby. You just
they just missed something to eat.
Let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something. When you become a full grown, there's a difference between a toddler, a teenager, a young man,
A full grown what, baby?
and then a full grown. I'm a full grown. And let me tell you about a full grown. Cake is good, but them pork chops are something to work with right there, people.
And they were so ugly.
Oh my goodness. Never had something been so ugly, been so good.
And like I said, anyway, listen. I'll put the pork chops video at the end of this one if I've not already included a card. But thank you guys. It's been a day. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, please consider doing so
by hitting the nosy,
and that's turning on the notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever we're over here doing all the things. Right, babe? All right, thank you guys so much for watching. We already look forward to you joining us again next time. Bye.